Hey guys, Max here. This is Jimveo. Hopefully I'm pronouncing properly. It's spelled Jimveo and the model number is E30. This is not a smart projector. If you guys are looking, it's gonna look like this on Amazon. And as you could see, I did purchase it with my own money. Currently, right now, it's selling for $289 with a coupon of $120 off. The previous one that I recorded was this one, which is Jimveo E28. Now, this one is a smart projector, and this one is not. Let me show you the E28. I did record a video on that one as well, so if you guys are interested, you could go ahead and see it in my videos. So this is that one. I'm sorry about the lighting and the room. This is not my usual space where I'm recording. It's just I needed an available wall. So the supposed cool thing about this one, which it's obviously advertised, is these opening lens. Now it has sensors over here. If you guys see, there are 1, 2, 3. There's 3 sensors there, which looks like those sensors are used for keystoning and adjustments. There is ports over here, which it has 2 HDMI, 1 USB, and then for the headphone. Okay, so it's pretty budget. I wasn't expecting a lot. It has buttons on top. So let me turn it on. Okay, and then the light is on. All right, Jimveo. So according to like the previous one that I recorded a video of, which was the E28, that one made me go through setting it up, and one thing that I did not like was when putting in the information of the Wi-Fi, it gave me a notice that basically by putting my information in, they will store it for their own use. At the same time, they'll be giving that information out to third parties. So this one is, let me show you what it's advertised at. Not actually show you, but let me read it to you guys. So the important thing about projectors, so if you guys are looking for this for the first time, if you're shopping for projectors for the first time, the brightness of a projector is very important. You could see brightness listed as lumens or ANSI. The higher either one of those, the better the quality of the image is. It's not even 4K or full HD that's important. It's more of the brightness. A lot of projectors out there, especially the smaller kind projectors, are only able to produce pretty low ANSI lumen. We're looking like 300, 200, 100. So when seeing ANSI 600 and above, there's an expectation that it would be good in the room with lights on. The whole point of the higher the lumen or NSI is to be able to watch a movie or whatever that you guys are looking to do with the projector with the lights on. Like right now I have regular lights on. It's not super bright in this room. Now this projector is advertised with 850 ANSI. So technically it should be bright enough with the lights on. So right now you guys could see the image on the display. This is the regular home screen of the projector. Again, this is not a smart projector. So it does require use of a dongle, Google Chromecast, or using Apple TV, Roku, Fire Stick, things like that. You can cast over here because there's an iOS cast. I'll go over the home screen a little bit more. So the point of why ANSI is important, it's because if you want to limit yourself always watching things in a pitch black dark room, then the NSI, it wouldn't be that as important, because in a dark room, even like 100 NSI is going to be acceptable. But with any form of light, that NSI is going to be very noticeable. Like this one is 850. So comparing 850 to 100 with the lights on, it's going to be a very big difference. Now, I'm not sure if this is exactly 850 because their Jimveo E28 is advertised as 800, and my Nebula Mars 3 Air is 400 ANSI, but it is much brighter than the E28. I'm not going to be slandering anyone. This is Chinese-based company, and I definitely was not happy with the E28 that it needed my information, and they're literally telling whoever buys the projector that that information will be given out to third parties. I did not have to put in Wi-Fi in this one because there's just no need for it. Because I'm using Google Chromecast on this one, an external product to it, because I'm not going to be casting anything to it. So, but it is definitely brighter. The first one that I bought was E28. I was not happy with that one. I used it for half an hour and I was like, no, this one's going back. But my purpose was to find a budget projector because I wasn't buying it for my own use. I was buying it for work. I am a nurse. So I wanted to play movies for my patients, and I kind of figured, hey, you know, me carrying back and forth a projector, I don't want to buy something that's expensive and risk for damaging it on carrying back and forth. So I wanted something that's budget. So my important was what I was looking for. I wanted 4K, but I was willing to settle for 1080. But I definitely needed brightness. Brightness is important to me, and I'm not talking about brightness as far as being able to brighten the picture over here. So this is the color mode, the surround sound, which is honestly, it's the speaker on this one is disappointing. Let's see, go here. So project the setting right here. So there's some things that you could adjust. It's very basic. It's literally very basic what you could do with this one. Then that's basically, and this is the remote. Nothing special about the remote. This is to adjust if the keystoning is not appropriate, and like right now it did keystone when I first turned it on, but it's not perfectly centered. Like, so in order for me to adjust it, I have to go use it like that, and then as you could see, it adjusts. Which, I mean, hey, I think I paid $185 for this projector, so I was definitely expecting to do some work. The more you spend, the more you get. So let me turn the lights off. And trust me, this one, 850 versus the other one is 800. This one, as soon as I turned it on, I was like, wow, I could see the difference. I definitely can see the difference with this being 850, and their E28 model is 800, so 50 difference, but there is a huge difference. Like when I turned this on with the lights on, when I first played around with this projector, like I have a window right now open, you could still use it. So here you have iOS cast, Android, Windows screencast, Bluetooth speaker. I would not use this for Bluetooth speakers. The speakers are pretty bad on this one. They suck. They really do. Signal source, and then the settings. So on the remote, I go into the HDMI 1 where I have the Chromecast connected, and let's see. All right, we need to mute this one. I thought I muted it. Like, I do not need copyright issues. So I don't know why it's not muting. Let me see this one. That's why. All right. So I'll play the sound later so you guys could hear the difference in the sound of the speaker. I just want to show you what it looks like, the video quality. So it's actually much, much better when it comes to comparing this one with, so there's display, picture mode. Let's do the picture mode so that there's user. So here I could make this even brighter, but I mean right here, maybe that's what they're referring to, 850, but even if not making this super bright, let me bring it down to 80, but even this is much brighter than the model E28, because even if increasing E28 brightness, it doesn't get nowhere as clear as this one. So here I could adjust, so I could play standard, and as you can see, the image is getting better. Then I could do the vivid. Like you could see, it also gets better. The brightness changes, so we could do movie. I mean, this is a little bit too dark for my liking, so we could do vivid. Let's stay at that one. The button layout is a little bit different. Look at this. The picture quality is actually pretty nice. It's nice. So I paid what, $185 for this one, plus taxes, and then for the other one, for E28, I paid like few bucks extra. So for those few bucks, you get some smart features built into it, and like being licensed for Netflix. You don't get that in this one, but the picture quality is so much better in this one, and it's cheaper than E28. So the minus is the smart features are not there, but the brightness is definitely better. So let me go into show you guys what the speakers sound, which are, yeah, that's a big negative I think for this one, is the speakers. So let me play my video and let me increase the brightness. I'm sure a lot of people said the same. We didn't ask for a thinner device, nor a light one, but it is a very, very welcome change. This thing is light. It is almost one-handed type of device. I just think it's 13 inches a little bit too big for one-handed device, but no. You know, at first it was kind of way too orange. My skin looked very orange, but then it automatically adjusted the picture quality. So now I don't look as orange. Only how Apple has designed their... So even though like the speakers on this is smaller from the look than the E28, it still sounds muffled as the E28 does. So I don't see this being something, I guess if you're in the room and it's very quiet and kids, again, I would say this is good for kids. I would not consider this in the large room. For a lot of people, it's just not good enough. System with same thing with iOS and and even though my voice right now and there's sound, the sound of the projector, the fans are pretty loud. I could hear the fans even with the sound on of the video. iPadOS where you can hold a display and still be able to use a display, but I want to feel more comfortable as far as... And then there's also distortion because it's at 100. So let's see if I could play any other video. I don't want to go too far. Oh, this has music. Yeah, the speakers are not good. Let me lower the volume. Now, this one does not have a mute, so I actually have to mute, like manually reduce the volume, as all the other projectors that I have besides E28, no mute button. Sucks on the remote. All right, let me go into, let's see if we could do a trailer of a movie or something. Let's see. Let's do this one. Trailer. All right, let me turn it on. Okay, now it's coming on. Let's see, Nebula, it's powering on. Now the good thing about Nebula, it automatically adjusts the image when you turn it on, same as this one did. The difference is the corners of the E30 is not proper. Like I could see the right side is being larger than the left side, and technically it has auto and AI, so it's supposed to fix all that, but somehow it still doesn't look proper. So it's turning it on. Here you go. It's still brighter than this. And then this is 400 ANSI. And this is Nebula Mars 3 Air. So for 400 ASI, it's still kind of overpowering, I would say. Supposedly 850 ANSI. So it's muted right now. Let me play this. Like you could see it. Like technically, if it's 850 on Jimveo E30, 850 NSI. So this should not be even visible because this is 400. It's like pointing a big flashlight that's extremely bright over something that's small and portable. Like you won't be able to see a smaller flashlight light because the other one is a lot more powerful. So here you could see the background of 400 ANSI, like 400. Okay, let me cover this. This is 400 ANSI. Look how beautiful the picture quality is versus this. Okay, let me go back to this one. I'm just going to show you a similar video. Here we go. This just look at this. This is E30. This is Nebula Mars 3 Air. 400 ANSI, 850 ANSI for E30. But look at the difference in picture quality. So I personally say you get what you pay for. But if I have to compare between the E28 and E28 versus E30, I would say E30 is definitely a much better buy because it is brighter. The speaker sounds pretty much the same. It lacks the smart stuff. But then again, the E28 is not as smart. Yeah, it comes with built-in few apps, not all of them. So you still got to rely on using an external um, smart player like Roku or Fire Stick, Apple TV, Chromecasts. So you basically, yeah, it has built-in Netflix, which is a big plus, believe it or not. But since you're still going to be relying using an external source, so you're not really winning there. But if I had to choose having something built in versus, hey, I can't watch anything if I don't have an external player with me, then obviously E28 has a one up on that. But the picture quality on E28 is just not worth it. It's just really disappointing picture quality. Very disappointing. Let me see if I could literally put them side by side so you guys could see the picture quality. I wasn't planning to do that at first. My God, this projector is loud. All right. Okay. All right. Let it power on. I have too many remote controls and I only have 2 sets of batteries. So in the background, while you guys can't see, I'm actually changing batteries. So see, with the E30, I need a dongle in order to watch YouTube. But this one already has YouTube built in, which is a big plus. That means I don't have to carry. See, it didn't connect to Wi-Fi. All right, let's try again. Come on. Okay, it worked. So this is the video. So again, 850 for ANSI for the E30, and then 800 for Jimveo E28. So I'm going to cover this one. You can see like both of them are on their max brightness. So the 850, you could see the difference. Okay, this is, you're looking at right now at E30, and now you're looking at E28. And look, I mean, I don't know if you guys could see it on your end, but E28, that image quality is just too washed out. It's not punchy. It might look punchy on your end, but it's not. So this is a lot more vibrant, this image quality. So let me turn this one off so you guys, if you're choosing between two of them, I would say E30 is probably a better buy than E28, just because of the image quality. That's all. You will rely on using an external player, using HDMI, because the other ports are not. Like, I would like to plug in, for example, a USB-C port, but it doesn't have it. Like with Nebula Mars 3 Air, I'm able to plug in Samsung S24 Ultra and use the projector as a DeX and still be able to watch movies. I can't do that with this projector. It does have casting. They both have casting, so you could cast videos or pictures from your phones on the projectors. The thing is, if it all depends what the purpose for this projector is for you guys. If you're looking at projector for kids, this is definitely, I would say, a go. Just the speakers aren't good, so you probably will have to use an external speaker, and you probably will have to, you're definitely going to need to use an external source like either Apple TV or Fire Stick, Roku, Chromecast, Chromecast stick, because that has built-in application versus like casting from your phone, which is a little bit different. But the picture quality is much better, and it's definitely much brighter. Especially like having an external light coming in, you could still see more of a picture than you can with E28. The speakers are no good. The fans are very loud. So like right now I'm sitting next to it and it sounds like it's pretty loud. Even when increasing the volume of whatever I'm watching to the loudest, I could still hear the fans. The fans are very, very loud. But for $185 before tax, this is a very good contender for something that's affordable, because I'm able to watch things on it. I mean, I definitely would, I'll be honest, I'm not going to use this. I'm going to return this because I would never use this for myself. I would not struggle with this because my need is for a bright projector. And this is just not bright enough. Somehow with Nebula Mars 3 Air, it's a long name, which only has 400 ANSI, I'm able to get brighter image than this. But at the end of the day, it's not only bright image, you also want image to be colorful. You don't want to, sometimes you could have a very bright image, but everything looks washed out. Here, the brightness is good enough. And in the dark room, I honestly be able to watch movies on this. Not bad. But knowing myself, I want something that's more of a higher quality for myself. But for portability and for my use, for what I bought this for initially, it's not gonna work for me. So I'm gonna have to return this. But if you guys looking for a budget projector, and if I have to rate this from 0 to 10, for picture quality, I would have to give it 4 out of 10, even 5 out of 10. Speakers, 3 out of 10. Yeah, so overall, I probably give it 4 or 5 out of 10, honestly. It's definitely E30 minus the smart features. It's a better buy in my opinion than E28, just because the picture quality is better. It's brighter. And I'm just shocked how a difference of 850 versus 800 ANSI, and it's such a huge difference. So if you have any questions, and if you're looking into one of these projectors, comment below. I'll respond. I like to respond to most of the questions. Unless someone already answered it, then I won't respond to that one. Just read other comments at the same time. The reason why I decided to do these videos is because when I was looking at projectors, like when I Googled projectors, these two came up as something that was recommended. As far as like when I typed in a projector, 4K, blah, blah, both of them popped up on the main page. And same thing on Amazon. When looking for projectors, both of these projectors are on the first pages. So usually that means something. It could also be sponsored, which is something to look into, meaning that it not necessarily is good. It could also be the fact that they're sponsorship, so that's why it's coming up on the front page. But I decided to get this one because I needed something really quick and same day delivery, and this I was able to get pretty quick. And honestly, again, this is a much better buy than Jimveo E28, despite E28 has some features that this does not, meaning the smart features with built-in applications. But if I have to compare both of these, E28 and E30 versus Nebula Mars 3 Air, hands down, Nebula Mars 3 Air is the one to go for. It's smaller, it's portable, it's not loud with the fans like these two are. It's the speakers. I'm just surprised how small the thing is. Like, I'm gonna record a video on it, how small it is and how loud it is. At the same time, it has built-in Google TV. It's 400 ASI, but it feels brighter than these two. So, which is something I'm questioning. Both are advertised as E28 800 ASI and E30 850 ASI, but Nebula Mars 3 Air is 400 ASI and it's brighter than both of these. And overall package with Nebula Mars 3 Air is much, much better package and overall. Yes, it's also double the cost, but I think when looking at the price versus paying, let's say, something that's $200 and you're losing a lot to comparing to something that's 500, 489, and you getting so much more, you get more than double for what you pay for. I think the smarter choice is to pay extra and get something that you get a lot more than what you sacrifice with these two projectors. But if you're looking for, like, for example, a movie night for the kids and things like that, it's fine. I wouldn't use this for myself. I would not. It kind of reminds me back in the day when plasma TVs came out, and the difference was the contrast. If you get something with this lower contrast, then you're missing quality. Like, I remember I bought one, it was a Toshiba. The price was great, but I came home and the person's hair, you couldn't see the hair strands. It just looked like black. Just that's it. That's what it looked like, a big black blur on top of their head. You couldn't see the hair strands. So I was like, okay, then I showed that a little bit extra, and I remember at that point, I bought a Dell TV, and believe it or not, Dell TV, they were ahead of their future. Like, the bezels were very thin, the quality of the image was great, and I was able to see things so much better versus them, what the Toshiba is, and the price was much higher of Dell. So the conclusion is sometimes it's worth paying extra because you really do get extra, especially with projectors. Something for you guys to take from this video: brightness on the projector is important. At the same time, look at the life of the lamp. If you're buying something that's only going to give you less than 1,000 hours, then you're going to have to shell out on the bulb, and sometimes those bulbs, like, you could spend 100 and above sometimes for a bulb for a projector. So in the long run, you're paying a lot more. So for example, if you buy a projector that costs 500, but you get like 25,000 hours out of that light bulb, or you're buying a projector that's $200, but the lifespan of a bulb is like 500 hours or 1,000 hours, you're definitely gonna pay up more in the long run. So something to consider. Um, that's basically it. So again, if you have any questions, please comment below. Thank you.